double.
Weapon pads ready. Deliver the flag. You're spotted.
Center of attention.
Okay, so that didn't quite work out as planned, but let's break it down anyway. At this point in the game, we managed to take down all 4 members of the enemy team. By doing this, it'll place them all on an 8-second respawn timer. So I know that if I move quickly here, I have a chance to pull the enemy's flag. And the direction I choose to pull that flag depends on where I predict the enemy to respawn. In Kali CTF, the enemy team can spawn in one of 4 locations, either outside on the elbow, in the back of the base, in the cave side, or out front underneath the base. Because I'm sprinting through the window with a direct line of sight on the back of the base, the enemy's not going to spawn there. I also notice I have a teammate sitting on the elbow. His position's going to block the spawn on the elbow. There's also bottom base, but bottom base is highly exposed, and then there's the cave. This is way less exposed. None of my teammates are there. I know this is the spawn point for the enemy, and they're already starting to spawn there. So last thing I want to do is run to cave. Instead, I can run through window or elbow. I decide elbow is the play, so I'll grab the flag, take it left, and start the juggle. Now, flag juggling is a technique that's been in Halo since the Golden Era. The concept here is that if you're holding a flag, your movement speed is slower. But if you let go of the flag, you go back to full speed. So the objective is to throw the flag in front of you, pick it up, throw it, pick it up, and so on to maintain the highest speed as you move the flag across the map. In Halo 5, it's the same thing, except there's a few extra mechanics in the mix. I'll grab the flag and thrust out to the left for an explosive start. Then I switch weapons to toss it. Immediately after, I start sprinting, and I'll slide as I grab the flag to maintain the highest speed as I pick it up, and then jump to the elbow. Now here's where things get kind of complex. I'm going to execute an advanced technique called a super slide while juggling the flag. If hit correctly, this will launch you across the entire section of the map in just a couple seconds.
Spotted.
To execute this correctly, you have to perform one of the most challenging button combos in Halo 5. If you're a fighting game fan, you might get a kick out of this. You have to first look up a little bit and hit the Y button to toss the flag out so that it lands on the floor at the base of the ramp. Immediately after hitting Y, you hold forward on the left stick and hit the A button to start sprinting, and I'm going to hold forward and sprint off of the edge of the pedestal so that I'm in the air in sprint animation. After I start this free fall with perfect timing, I need to hit the X button to thrust. The timing is very precise here. I need to make sure the thrust goes on a down diagonal, but ends before hitting the ramp. I don't want the thrust to collide with the ramp. Immediately after hitting X to thrust, you want to hold forward on the left stick again and press A again to start sprinting. You're reactivating sprint in the air, and then as you hit the floor, immediately after hitting the floor, you want to click the left stick to hit crouch to slide, and hold B while you do this so that you can grab the flag again. You'll see I grab the flag, hold B, and jump immediately after to carry that momentum forward with the flag. And then I'll toss it out and continue the run. All of these inputs need to happen within like a 2-second window. The slightest mistake and this won't work. Now to complete the rest of the run, I grab the flag, toss it, sprint, slide as I grab it again, and jump, use my thrust to get past this last hurdle, and then toss it once again. And I think I'm in the clear here, but turns out I'm not. Turns out there's another player with a sniper rifle who's looking at me, who's ready to finish me off. And theater mode makes that look a little weirder than it actually is, but he got me. Now, from my POV, while I executed this technique, my teammates died around me. And I knew my teammates died, but I was just in such a rush to get this flag in, I thought I'd make it. In hindsight, though, what I should have done was stopped here, stopped sprinting, and probably walked it out and slowed down from this point. That could have mixed up my timing, maybe have my thrust back, and allow me to avoid the snipe or get my shields back before I plant that flag in. I had a little bit of time to make that happen. However, it's not so much my fault as it is the fault of my teammates who played this all wrong. Of course, Halo is a team game. To ensure success, you and your team need to be on the same page. And unfortunately, that just wasn't the case in this situation. Now, I'm running the flag out elbow, and I'm doing that because I have a teammate on elbow. This teammate's in the perfect position to help escort this flag. He can shoot these new spawners, keep them back so I don't die as I pull this flag. Turns out he decides to not do that. He decides to leave. He just turns around and he's heading to rocks because rockets are coming up. But I don't agree with this timing, right? He's leaving, going to rocks. That leaves me out to dry. I'm lucky I got away at all here. I could have got melted by this player if he hit all of his shots. Thankfully, I got around the elbow. That's not the only issue in this situation, though. He goes for rockets, but he's not thinking about these new spawners and their timings, right? These players are coming off a spawn, and they're going to funnel through window or elbow. In this position, he's in a great vantage point. He's got high ground, he's got rockets, he can shoot the window, he can shoot the elbow. Instead, he decides to sprint, jump, thrust, and dive into the window with the rockets. This is rough timing, right? First off, he misses this rocket. Unfortunately, it doesn't do any damage. Hits the elbow, and he's right beside another player who startles him, and then he whiffs the second rocket, and then he just gets melted and dies. So unfortunate situation. He did not need to dive forward. All he had to do was stand on top rocks, knowing that we just got around to slays and I'm running flag. He's in a great vantage point. He can be defensive here. And unfortunately, this gets worse. My other teammate, Mackie, this is the moment we got around to slays. So the final 2 kills are right there, and I'm going to run for this flag. As this is happening, the snipe is spawning up right behind him. First off, he just leaves this sniper behind. There's the snipe spawn, and he's right here, and he leaves it. That's not even my biggest issue, though. It's the fact that he needs to recognize where the spawn is. When you're in this situation, and you get around to slays, and you see me running through window, and a teammate sitting on elbow, you need to understand those spawns are blocked, and that cave is the likely spawn point. Instead, he's not thinking about cave, and he's walking, looking the wrong way. These cave spawners are going to shoot him. He's going to be startled when he turns around, right? Instead, he can, from this position, look at cave and start pre-nading or hold his reticle there, knowing a player is going to come out and get a free kill right off of that. So that's really rough timing for Mackie, and he leaves the sniper for the new spawners in cave as well. Ends up taking the shots in the back, jumps up, rough jump, shouldn't have jumped there, right? So just rough situation that leads to his death and gives up the snipe. Now, Achilles here, my third teammate, is the least of the offenders. He spawns right as I'm pulling this flag. He spawns underneath red base, and he decides to sprint and fly at the elbow, and he ends up getting a kill, and that kill is helpful in defending me as I run that flag. So there's that. But he could have done something else here as well. I think the biggest thing to recognize, if you're this player in this situation, understand that you're the back player here. All your teammates are out in front of you, pushed forward, and the flag is coming out, and you're in a back kind of defensive position. So instead of flying across the entire map, I think what would be helpful is if you get up to a high position like DMR and sit here from this vantage point and get ready to defend and work whatever angle your teammates aren't working. So yes, you can shoot elbow, you can shoot window, but you can also contribute to snipe side as well. It's a great vantage point where you can be effective without committing yourself to one specific point like the elbow. But sometimes that's just how it goes with Halo 5 matchmaking. The best thing you could do is learn and improve so that the next time you make bigger, better plays. And hopefully that's exactly what happens watching this video. If you guys liked it, remember to like, comment, subscribe. I think only like 30-something% of you actually sub. So hit that sub button, show me some love. I'd appreciate it. Good luck on the way out there.
Center of attention.